Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday and all today's guests are brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Today's guests including Ryan Dempster, standing by. Book your stay at the Bayside and enjoy the many amenities the hotel has to offer, such as oceanfront rooms, free parking, oceanfront restaurant, cafe, indoor and outdoor swimming pools, gym, and more. Call 250-248-8333 or go to their website, BaysideResortParksville.com. Major League Baseball in North America, opening day Thursday. Among the opening day clashes, the Jays at Tampa Bay. Here to talk about baseball, the pride of Gibsons. 16 Major League seasons, 132 wins from the MLB network. Our friend Ryan Dempster. Ryan, thanks for doing this. How are you, sir?
I'm great, guys. It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
As a baseball lifer, what's this time of year like for you?
I started to get a little jealous and envious that the guys are still playing. I just that excitement that leads up that last week at spring training where you're getting ready for everything is just there's very few times during the year where you're feeling that, because that's all your hard work in the off season paying off, whether you just made a club or you're trying to have a big year as a player. So I always love this time of year. With the Cubs for a long time, it meant a trip to Vegas right before the start of the season, so I kind of missed that too.
No kidding. We used to go to Vegas every year through our old radio station, and we miss it as well, Ryan. We can relate. Hey, Joey Votto, 40 years old. I know he's had a couple of health issues in the last week or so, but how much game has he got left? Can he help the Blue Jays?
Yeah, he can help them for sure. I think he helps them, obviously on a performance level. I think there's some power in that tank left, especially, facing right-handers. To give guys a day off to be that. But I think, from a locker room experience, from a game experience and being able to help guys ready, that challenge that he wants to be able to do that. Joey's evolved over time. He was a guy that was very in tune with what he was doing throughout his career early on and worrying about just being kind of the superstar player he was. And then as he's gotten older and matured and played with younger guys in Cincinnati, I think has really adopted that role of the veteran leader. And, I hope that he's healthy this year and he gets an opportunity to be in that locker room and helping those guys. To me, it's one of the more valuable positions that never gets talked about. Everybody gets so caught up in who's our best statistical guy, is our 26th guy. Guess what? If you think that guy is the best statistical guy is going to be the reason you win a World Series and you're never even going to compete for one. It's somebody else, and I think he can help a lot.
Not many changes for the Jays. We mentioned Joey Votto, and a lot of people hoping Vladdy Guerrero can get back to his old form. But what do you expect from the Blue Jays in 2024, Ryan?
Yeah, I think a lot, honestly, like you talked about Vladdy, I think that's just such a big kind of like corner piece of this franchise. If he is raking like he was a few years ago, he's had a monster spring. He's been tearing the cover off the ball. I know he's in really good shape. If he's doing that, now you start to have this like bona fide, really scary threat in the middle of your lineup, and then everybody else around that feeds off that and is able to get better pitches to hit with guys on base, all those kind of things. So I think offensively, that's a huge key for them. And then just how well their bullpen can do. Like they have good starting pitching, guys who are capable of going out there and having some really big years. We know that. It's how well is your bullpen? When you have leads, can you hold it? When the game's tied, can you give your team a chance to win the game at the end? If you're behind, it's a key. It's a real big key because there's not a lot of additions like you mentioned, and so I think for their pitching staff wise, a lot lies on that, and it's a tough division. We saw how much the better the Yankees got, although they lost Garrett Cole for a little while, and there's always guys it seems like in New York that get banged up. LeMahieu's out. But the Orioles are as real as you're going to get. As good a team as any baseball, and Tampa's always tough. So it's a tough division. You got to pitch well, especially the back end of your bullpen.
Hey, Ryan, every year we hear rumors about Major League Baseball could return to Canada someday. You hear Montreal, you're starting to hear Vancouver. Do you think Canada's ready for a second team?
Do I think they're ready? Yeah. Do I think it's going to happen? No, unfortunately. I just think that there's stronger pulls, places like Nashville, Vegas, these different places. Obviously, the A's are going there, so now you have a team there. Charlotte, there's been a lot of conversations about different places. Portland, Salt Lake City. with some massive amounts of money behind him, like the project that's in Salt Lake City that supposedly got a lot of backing behind it. Could be something like we haven't even really seen, right? Like a whole entire almost mini city built just for a baseball team. So I think that's a big hurdle. Now, that being said, I don't know, and I'm from there, and I wish it could have happened, and it just seems like it's a struggle bus whenever anything other than the Canucks come to Vancouver. It just doesn't take off. But I always felt like if you put a stadium in downtown Montreal that held 28 to 32,000 people,
right,
that place would pack, especially put some sort of open air roof on it, retractable, much like, you see down at T-Mobile in Seattle, something like that. I think it works. I think it plays well. And people would support that in Montreal. I know they have a tremendous backing for it. Eric Gagne, Justin Morneau, guys like that have been kind of on that board of trying to help make that happen. But I don't know if the dollars and cents make it happen, because there's too much money down in the U.S.
Yeah, that is true. All right, many got the Dodgers winning the World Series. They spent $1 billion on two guys, Ryan, and they got 3 MVP award winners on their roster. But the Braves are there, the Astros, Yankees. Who do you got? Who are you picking right now for the World Series?
Yeah, hey, listen, you can go spend all the money you want on 1 or 2 players. That's not going to win you a World Series. You need a team. You need a bunch of guys in unity and together. And when I look around the league, I really like the way the Braves are put together. I think they're solid. Obviously their lineup is a joke. Like, good luck trying to hold them in check as a pitcher. I'm glad I'm not facing those guys. And then you look at their rotation, their bullpen, what they've been able to do. If Chris Sale can be healthy, then wow, I think they're nasty. If I had to pick off the top of my head, and I'm just going to throw something out there, and people in Toronto might not love this, but I'm going to go ahead and say the Baltimore Orioles have a shot at winning the World Series.
Nice. Yeah, you mentioned them 2 times now, and a lot of people picking the Braves. Rick talked about the Dodgers. I don't know how much you know about his character, Ryan, but this controversy surrounding Shohei Ohtani, do you think that's going to have any effect on him on the field, from what you know?
On the field, no, because I feel like that. We've seen this in so many different senses, right? When players are athletes, high-functioning superstar athletes are going through off the field, off the court, off the ice issues. When they get in that moment, it's almost like a release for them, an opportunity to go do their thing. We see, remember Brett Favre loses his dad and then goes out on Monday Night Football. It's unexplained. I don't know what it is. It's compartmentalization at its finest. So I think that performance-wise, he'll do all right. I worry about what this impact has on the Dodgers, because it's going to be nonstop. It's going to be signs in the stands. It's going to be the meme after meme on the internet. It's not going away anytime soon. So I'm more concerned on their locker room and what that does, but maybe it rallies them together. Who knows?
Yeah. Astros have done okay after their controversy, Ryan. Okay, I have to ask you this, because if I don't, I'm going to be in trouble. And we're in Vancouver here. We asked about the Blue Jays. 88 wins for the Mariners last year. What about them in 2024?
Yeah, I really like. What's funny is we had this thing in the office, just kind of like a hot takes, and a couple of them I had, and one of my hot takes running through my head was that I think the Seattle Mariners win the AL West. Now, I know that's a hot take, but I just think when you have starting pitching like that, I think they're better than they were last year. They made some sneaky good moves. They kind of underperformed early on and then got hot down the stretch. I think that this is a team that could surprise a lot of people. I think that they got guys that are kind of primed to break out and could have big years. Julio Rodriguez had a terrible start to the season and still put himself in MVP category. If he gets hot off the gate, this is a guy that can carry a team, month to month, just with what he can do offensively. So that's my hot take for you right there. I'm going to call that. I'm going to say that they win the AL West.
Yeah, we need a sound effect for your hot take. When's the last time you were on the Sunshine Coast, Ryan?
I was up there in September and October, and looking forward to getting back up there this summer. I'll be out west. We have a place out in Oregon, so I'll be out there for a little while too. But miss it back home, and definitely be back up there.
This has been great. We'll get you back on. Ryan, thanks so much, my friend. Appreciate it.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure joining you. Love it.
You bet.